Clover Moore has won 6 elections as Lord Mayor of Sydney. It's a record run. 6 back-to-back elections. Talk about power and control. I speak with Jess Scully, the former Deputy Lord Mayor of Sydney. And yeah, we talk about Clover, we talk about community, and we talk about the little guy or the little girl making the big difference when it comes to how this world is going to get through AI, but also continue to have real community and create real human connections. I initially came across Jess Scully in the TEDx world. So she was in that ideas exchange game, brilliant communicator of tricky ideas, sometimes controversial ideas, and I really admired the way she worked with audiences back then. Since then, she's been the Deputy Lord Mayor of Sydney. She's a big author and really just an incredible human being. This conversation was well and truly out of my depth. I am not an expert in government or civic activity, and Jess certainly is. She was generous enough to work with me and walk us through some of these really complex thoughts and ideas. Now, I see myself as a positive realist, but I couldn't help pushing a little bit on how realistic it is that the everyday people of community can actually make big, real change. Now, Jess is a huge believer that it can happen, and you know what? She's had positions where she's got the evidence and the proof to stand for it. So it was a great chat. I know you're going to get a lot out of it. Something that struck me during this conversation was the importance of having frameworks around how communities come together. So what that means is a set of ideals and values that we can put in place so the community can then populate that space with their own ideas and their own values, but having a parameter or a framework within which the community can operate and come together. That's exactly what Jess did as the former Deputy Lord Mayor, but also in her current space of a book writer, a real thought leader when it comes to community and how we come together for a better world. It was fascinating to hear Jess's insights on community and especially local community. How can we engage with our local community to be a bit of an antidote to the global community that feels so broken and fractured at the moment? How often do we find ourselves dialing right into what's happening in the US or what's happening in other parts of the world instead of potentially engaging just with our local community and finding positivity there? That was really fascinating. And when I reflect on that, I think it's really true of the business world. You could easily get lost in the sea of what's happening in the economy and the broader business world. Or you could think about the own community that you are creating in your own business. What is it like to be part of your business? What are the cultural norms that you've set up? Have you split your team across floors in a way that is exclusive and doesn't feel like everyone can truly belong? What are your values as an organization, and how are you living up to those values? What is your purpose? What's the why behind your business? Not dollars, not props and PR, but your actual belief system. Why are you here? Do you have that clearly articulated? And do people know what to do in order to live up to that purpose? So I found it fascinating to correlate from community and local community across to business and any given individual business. Jess leads us through this winding road between community and civic duty. And the headline for me is, we have to eat our vegetables. Right? We can't just do the quick fix, fast food options when it comes to engaging with your community. You've actually got to do the harder thing. Go to the community rally, turn up to that meeting, show up in a vote, for example, right? You've got to do these things, and the payoff is much bigger. It's just delayed. It's just later rather than a quick fix thing that can happen. And I think it correlates beautifully to the business world. Right? It's vital that we do the harder things, that we push through things that don't feel easy, because the benefits will be greater and longer lasting. In business, it's so easy to send the all-staff email. It's quick, it has immediate effect, and arguably it is pretty boring and most people don't open it. much harder to bring together the company, show some vulnerability, let down some of the facade, and really connect with people in a proper moment. A lot more hard work. That's the vegetables versus the fast food, which is the all-star female. It's fact time. I've just been promoted to a senior role. How should I show up? What a tricky question. I guess the old school logic would be show expertise, lead from the top, be the subject matter expert. Yep, those things need to be bubbling underneath. But I think modern leadership is about being empathetic, being a lot more open than that. A quick way to get there is to start a feedback culture, and that starts with leadership. You need to get in there and from day one, start asking for feedback. And the way you ask that question is not, hey, how did I go? It's, give me 3 ways I could have been better, i.e. prompting for critical feedback, not just, yeah, man, you're awesome, which often is what gets thrown around, especially to leaders that are in a powerful position. You've got to hunt for critical feedback, things that will make you better. And by you doing it, you demonstrate to other people, this is the type of culture we're building. So let me give you a very simple way to do it. It's called SEER. It's age old, but you may not know it. Situation, impact, action. All unemotional. So the feedback that you give someone else might be, the situation I've observed is X, Y, Z. The impact of that is A, B, C. So the action I'd like you to take is try this, change that. Let's set a time next Friday where we can get together and see how you're going with this change and with this feedback. It's a very simple model: situation, impact, action. That's how you give feedback and how you get feedback. You ask people for feedback, but you specifically say, give me 3 ways I could have been better. That prevents people from telling leaders, oh, you're awesome, which is often what leaders get. You need to seek the truth. That's how you become a great leader and start to build that high-performance community around you in your business. An action I'd love you to take off the back of this podcast. When you're in your next big meeting and you're the leader, instead of speaking first, speak last. And turn on your radar and watch the way other people treat other people in the meeting. Not necessarily the content of what they say or their expertise, but instead the way they relate. What you'll find out is the shape of your community. Is it supportive? Do we have each other's back? Or is this a little bit more of a, how do I catch other people? How do I look like the hero in the moment? Whatever you discover, you can then choose as a leader what you're going to do about it. Thanks for listening to this episode. It's a really important conversation that needs to happen, and you can find us anywhere where you get high-quality podcasts. If you enjoyed this conversation as much as I did, make sure you check out the next episode.